In this video, we'll explore the self-referential trap and a model for growing a balanced reality. So let's look at the problem. We all start out somewhere in the possibility field, and here we are. Possibility stretches out in all directions, and we find something that works. It's so wonderful, right? And all the chaos and all the mixed voices all saying, read this book, do this, do that, do this other thing. We find something that works. How do we know? We feel better. Let's say we discover Eckhart Tolle and the power of now, and we've been busily obsessing about the future, and this is a new item on the menu, and it feels wonderful. And then we look at the people there and we think, wow, I haven't had 5 minutes to myself. These people have been sitting around thinking and reflecting for years. I mean, that's a good direction. So you read the book and all kinds of insights come in. And so you attend an Eckhart Tolle workshop. You start, recommending Eckhart Tolle to all your friends. And you just thoroughly develop this direction of probability towards more peace, more whatever. Now, here's what you'll find, and this is the trap that I want to highlight. As you go deeper and deeper, there is a cultural bias towards more is always better. However, this is a cultural bias. It is not a science bias. What I mean is, have a little bit of salt, have a bit more salt, have a bit more salt, have a little bit of electricity, more electricity, more electricity, 10,000 volts. It doesn't actually bear up. Have a little bit of rain, more rain, a flood, 24/7 rain. The reality around us is constantly telling us, do things in moderation. But the cult and the the pull towards simplicity is saying, okay, great, we found something that works, let's do more of it. Why? Because the world is complex. And trying to figure out how to balance thousands of different possibilities is an overwhelming prospect for most people. And so when you find a little thing that simply makes sense, doing more of it and more of it and more of it is easy compared to balancing the complexities of the world. So that's one reason. But the other thing is, you're going to get in with Eckhart Tolle's closest circle. And what are they going to say? Are they going to say that this is a waste of time, that there's probably much more important opportunities out there that you're not even knowing that you don't know because you're sitting here with us? No. They're going to say, you found your home. Finally, right? And you're in the inner circle, and it's like, wow, right? I knew that was good because my first taste of it brought me well-being. And then the next taste was even better, right? The first taste of chocolate cake, delicious. The next bite, incredible. The third bite, a nice big spoonful, it's nourishing, it's filling. But after about the 27th slice of chocolate cake, there's nothing more toxic than another bite of chocolate cake. Right? Your pimples, you're already feeling your skin on the third slice, right? You're now 27 slices, 37 slices in on cake. That is a sick diet. It's a toxic diet, which just means you're getting too concentrated in a narrow band of identity. Identity is simply a habit of thinking, feeling, speaking, doing, and being, right? And habits are really important to have, But if you only sleep, if you only eat cake, if you only meditate with Eckhart Tolle, it doesn't matter what it is. It's the paradigm that is problematic. It's the reinforcing self-referential nature where the more you get into anything, I mean, you may drive fast on the freeway and, at 90 miles an hour, peeling off, oh, it's so great, right? And that may be the best it gets, right? Because next you think, well, since I enjoy this so much, I should buy a race car. And since I enjoy, maybe we should move house to be closer to the track. And then, of course, we can't have the race car out in the weather. No, now we've got to build, a garage over the race car. Then the remotes in the garage, they're not working. Now you need a security system. I hope you're following here. All of that is taking you far away from that 10-second joy of just peeling off at 90 miles an hour. That you did once, you did a few times, that you can still do again, right? But there's the sense, no, it has to be more. Hedonic adaptation is constantly saying more drug, whatever it is, I want more. The cult is also constantly saying more is better, bigger, 25% free, this, more. But the truth is, the science is always telling us that it's about the sweet spot in the middle. It's not about a no-salt diet. You die. It's not about a kilogram of salt a day diet. You die. It's about the sweet point, right? It's not about going 3,000 miles an hour. You die, right? It's not about doing nothing. You die, right? It's finding that dance. That dance takes complexity. So what I'm saying is that no matter what you pursue, it can become extreme. It is alluring for it to become extreme because it's simple. One way fits all, and just do as much of it as you possible. Just, devote yourself to Jesus, right? Constantly. Well, you're in a concentration camp. Don't lie. It's against the 10 Commandments. Oh, you're dead, right? Devote yourself to something in particular. Now, what we tend to do, right, in this trap of allure is we follow the chocolate cake from the one slice, the three, the one slice, the three. We get sick on chocolate cake and we say, I've been had, right? Those people that recommended chocolate cake is the worst thing. It was the best thing, now it's the worst thing. So you go off in another direction. Now I found the real spiritual teacher, the real thing. This is, it's all about fitness, go to the gym 5 times a week. Forget it, 2 or 3 times a day. Do this, do that. It's all about this and that. Oh, I hurt my arm lifting weights. Yeah, now I've got to do steroids. I've got to take, vitamins. I don't have time for my family. And so there's a pull towards the next thing. Now, to some extent, we need this fanaticism to break orbit from the last thing, right? You need to prioritize in order to establish the pattern. But as soon as you establish the pattern, that's often the sweet spot, and it's about time to start looking at something else. And so the most important thing to know is that there is a bell curve of diminishing returns where you do a little bit of it and there's a benefit. You do more, there's a tremendous amount of it. You do more and there's less benefit. You do even more and it kills you. That's true of everything. It's true of sex. It's true of breathing. It's true of eating. It's true of fasting. It's true of meditating. It's true of blessing the world. It's true of cursing the world. Whatever it is, if you do it to an extreme, it'll kill you. The very thing that gave you life will kill you. Now, there's another bell curve which is this is the moderation bell curve. The other bell curve is about timing. Like there is a time to breathe in. If you've exhaled, the time is to breathe in, right? But that doesn't go on. The very thing that, oh, it feels so good to finally breathe in. If you reach and keep pushing into that extreme, you can't breathe out. And the holding of the in-breath, the pursuit of the perfect in-breath will kill you. It's no different with drugs, by the way. They're just a lot more alluring, right? The first time you take cocaine, the first time you take speed, whatever it is that's, my goodness, right? If I could just, clean house 24 hours a day, then, life is made, right? The very thing that takes you up, if you do too much of it, will kill you. So there's a timing cycle, right? You get onto the fax machine, right? But if you cling too long, for too many decades to the fax machine, it goes from being liberating to confining, because everyone else moved on to email. But you're, no, the fax machine. And there are fewer and fewer people have them, right? Because they don't want them, they don't need them, they're clunky. Email works on the existing device. Email is silent, right? A fax machine, deed. So the thing that once helped you will hold you back. And the thing that a little bit opened up your whole world, a lot will kill you. And so how do you, you've got several pulls that are taking you towards disaster. Number one is simplicity. The recognition that I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. And so having something that seems to work and just doing more of that, that's great. The next is the general cultural bias. More is better. Bigger, better, more, better. The next is that the diehard fanatics in any cult, doesn't matter if it's the cult of sex, the cult of psychedelics, the cult of power, the cult of money, any cult, you join and you start gaining rank within that cult, and you will be welcomed by the addicts, by the diehards, right? Welcome to the club. You're now a billionaire. We've got to stick together, us billionaires, Seize the moment, right? See who can be the 5 billionaire. Now, the truth is that this is probably the worst advice you could possibly be given. But it's the advice you will be given by the people you're identifying with by being a billionaire, right? And people will lump you in a group, the billionaires, right? So the cult is trying to loop, but there's also the cult of the billionaires. And they're trying to convince themselves that it was all worthwhile, right? And that what's really important is to become the richest person in the world. And you could spend your entire life, no family, misery, very little inner development, etc. And you could get there and it's like, so what's the point? Or you can spend all your time, I can't talk to my kids right now, I've got to meditate, right? I've got to go out and eat health food, right? I've got to grow my own vegetables, get out of here, right? Get out of here, I've got to grow my own vegetables. Yeah, we're not going to hang around for that. It's like, we're leaving. What? You're leaving me just as the vegetables are being harvested? There's so many different things waiting to be given godhood. And there are so many people praying to the gods of organic carrots or gold or cryptocurrency. These gods have all once brought well-being to somebody at some point. And perhaps they've once brought well-being to you. But as you pray to the god of efficiency and get more and more efficient, as you pray to the god of fiscal conservatism and don't enjoy your life at all, as you pray to hedonism and spend all your credit cards, you are praying to false gods, right? The gods that tell you we're the real one, right? Just keep running up credit card debt. It's just going to work out, right? Serendipity, right? Just go with the flow. It'll all work out until it doesn't. Well, I guess that's what's meant to be. I just find myself in a dilapidated trailer park somewhere and my car's broken, so this is meant to be, right? It's meant to be. Serendipity, right? And some drunk comes over in the trailer park and must be the one, the universe, right? There's no mistakes in the universe. You can follow any of these things into absurdity. And these gods all ask for more time, more money, more energy, more devotion, be more efficient. You can read so many books on being efficient that you miss your entire life. That it is inefficient to be that efficient, given how much time and energy it took to get that efficient. Right? You can be so healthy you drop dead. The stress of not eating no, I've got to wait, I can't eat truck stop meat, this and that, I've got to do this, right? So the challenge is to come back to center and understand that all false gods are only false because they're claiming to be the only one. Like if the Christians would just say, fairly, right, honestly, it gives me some sense of meaning. Sometimes I'm a little nicer person. And, sometimes following the 10 Commandments, sometimes I do it. Sometimes following the 10 Commandments takes things in a better place. We wouldn't really recommend Anne Frank go out and never tell lies to the Nazi. I'm a Jew, right? Murder me. But sometimes it seems to lead in the right direction. And we obviously don't know what we're doing. There's plenty of fanatics, the assholes down at the church that won't let any women be on the committee. Not really keeping up with the times, right? But maybe there's a sense of community here, and come when it nourishes you. And when you don't, bravo for finding something better. Bravo, right? If these people would just do this, it'd be wonderful. Have a raw meal from time to time. Get diarrhea. Maybe it'll help your gut. Try it and see, right? It's not for everyone, but try it and see. Bravo, a little humility, right? Or fiscal conservative, let's always save a penny saved is a penny earned, right? Let's see where that goes, right? Save some money, right? Do this God 10% of the time. Pray to this God 5% of the time. Find the mix of gods, right? Because the transcendent God, the one God that includes all gods, all goddesses, that God has no name, right? And so you can be guaranteed that anything that's put into language is not the one true God, is not the one path, right? So the more something clamors for your attention that you must do this all the time in all ways, the more you know that this is a false God, a fanatical God, a God that thinks that they're the one, right? But if they're really the one, they have room for everything else. The Christians have no room for Muslims, right? They're not the one God. They're a subset of fanatics trying to get everyone else not to be part of the other gods, right? That's a bunch of rivaling siblings. Come to my make money course. It'll make you more money. No, come to mine. Mine. Be efficient. No. Be more efficient over here, right? So you have the general, deities, whatever they are, the statement, right? Do this and do more of it, and then your life will just keep getting better. And there it is. It's always a lie. It's always too much of that. And then you have the subset, the sibling rivalry within that, right? Our way is the most efficient way to be efficient. Yeah, but our way is cheaper. It's cheaper to be efficient with our way, right? So you have the subsets of the subsets, right? But only you can find the center. Only you. And this is, I think, the most terrifying thing of all. Me? It's up to me to find where I'm leaning too hard, because where you want to ultimately get is you want to go down these roads, these limited deities, and you want to save up and invest some money. You want to work hard and be efficient. You want to be spontaneous and have fun and spend time with your family. You want to be a wanderer and go out and explore the unknown without any efficiency. You want to be completely and utterly inefficient and serendipitous. And you want to take on responsibilities that allow you to contribute, to have some meaning in the world. And you want to do things that you just want to do, right? And there's a lot more in that, which, this is a metaphor for the complexity and the beauty of life. You want to do a lot more of these things and explore things. And the challenge is to go deep enough into a dream, deep enough into a dogma, right? Into a belief system to experience the fruits of that tree. I want to go deep enough. But before you get lost in the dream, and when you've received much of the benefit, that's the time to try something else, right? And if you do the try to something else, if you're dilettante, you never learn to play the guitar because now you're playing the piano, and you never learn to play that either. And now you're making a tremendous amount of irritating noise with the clarinet. Your instruments are piling up. You don't know a goddamn thing about any of it. And, that's not going anywhere. So the challenge, right? And of course, by the time you get to be a great clarinetist, you could play on Carnegie Hall if you just practice 10 hours a day, right? It's the time when you could do it that is often the time to pull back and not do it. But that's the very moment when everyone around you wants you to do it, and you think, well, I've come this far. Maybe I should go all the way, right? We've come this far in this relationship. We've already done so much growing and this and that. Now we could get married and live happily ever after. But maybe that's the very time to acknowledge that we've done the most vital aspects of our relationship. And right now, the most vital learning and growing would be to take space, would be to grow in a new direction, out of love for self and others, right? To not fall into the unconscious, assumed territory of repetition. Blessings.